Freestyle Travel. Hey everybody, still did that. My name is Kenny Flannery. This is the Freestyle Travel Show. I'm drinking a brown ale that I brewed. It's not very carbonated because that room is not very warm. I think that's my theory anyway, and I'm just not being patient. But anyways, this episode is going to be about fabric and sanity. I'm surrounded by fabric, so now it's going to be in your life too. You're going to have to hear about it. I'm going to talk more about the BivyPack and a few other things I'm working on, like a sleeping bag, sort of like a blanket, sleeping blanket, camping quilt that turns into a vest. It's another thing I'm prototyping around. A little sleeping pad. I'm codenaming the Spartan pad right now. A few other little things that I'm working on. May just be for me, may end up making them for other people. We'll see. I'm kind of losing my sanity here in Mississippi, where I've been off and on, and mostly here, for the better part of the year. It's been crazy. I'm not really used to this. So it's a good thing that I'm working on a project I really care about, or else I would be totally out of my freaking mind. Yeah, I was pretty much losing my mind a couple years ago when I did this project, when it ended up being by myself in Georgia. Man, I was out of it. And I've had days like that here too, where I'm just itching to be on the road, but it's impossible, you know? I kind of care about this project too much, and I got like at least 50 people all counting on me. I don't know how many are like counting down the days, but I sure am. Hold on. This beer's not terrible, but it's not the best I've brewed. I got another beer to brew, but I don't even have any time. It's just so much stuff. So, yeah, the laser cut fabric just arrived today. So that's been the big exciting thing for the day. Anyone who's just tuning in, I got this whole BivyPack project. It's a backpack that turns into a little tent, and did a Kickstarter for it. Now I got to make about 50 of these things, and I'm making even more, just because there is enough to get more, buy stuff in bulk. So I'm making a bunch. That way I can keep having them for sale on freestyletravelgear.com. Set that whole thing up to you. So that's good to go. But yeah, I've been waiting for, I had to wait for the money to come in from the Kickstarter. And then it was just a game of calling up and emailing a bunch of suppliers and getting that whole thing rolling. So, yeah, I'll dig into it quite a bit, especially if there's a few people who are waiting for their backpack listening to this. I'll kind of get into the nitty gritty about what's about to go down, because I'm excited to get it going, get it done, really. It's going to be good, though. Yeah, the last episode, I want to catch y'all up on that. That was with Liz Stewart, a girl from, or at least she was living in Mobile, from Alabama originally as well. And she was throwing the Weed March 420, except she didn't. So there's that. Yeah, it just kind of fell through for her. I talked to her, and she said production team, I guess, who's going to do all the light and sound, they kind of backed out at the last minute on her. A couple days left, so she canceled the whole thing, which I think in the end she kind of regretted. I think she probably wished she had just thrown it without all the bells and whistles, but ended up getting, from what I heard, a bunch of people were kind of upset who didn't hear the whole story, and she just kind of ghosted. She's on to greener pastures, just moving on. I think she's happy to be done with the whole thing. So yeah, not sure what she's up to at the moment, but yeah, that's what happened there. Nothing. I think some people did end up still going to the park where it was at, but it was, instead of like thousands of people, it was a couple dozen, or probably not even that much. But oh well, I mean, it is what it is. It's gonna be legalized in that state eventually. Just might take a little while. So yeah, that's what's going on there. And yeah, I've just been here, kind of off and on. Like I said, mostly on just getting this stuff done. So let me dig into the BivyPack situation here first. So I've learned this go around has been a lot different than the last one. Like, yeah, I am definitely losing my sanity just because I'm not into being in one place for this long. But it has been different than the last time. It's still just mostly me doing stuff so far. That's about to change next week. But yeah, making a lot more this time. Making a lot more. Maybe like 3 times as many backpacks this time. And I've had extra time, so I've dug into a lot more of the supplies that I'm gonna need. I've called around a lot of places, especially for components and webbing and more generic stuff. I'm getting all the fabric from, or 90% of the fabric from the same place I got last time, because they just make the best stuff in the world. So I don't know, there's places where I could get other waterproof junk for maybe cheaper or something if I dug around, but it's just not going to be as good. So that's been the same. But the components and the like buckles and adjusters, load adjusters, tension adjusters, cord locks, webbing, ribbon, elastic, all this stuff. That stuff's pretty generic. So yeah, did a lot of digging, and I'm surprised how willing companies are to send samples and stuff. So that's been really cool. If you're working on a bigger project, definitely ask, and you shall receive. Some of these companies, they had just wicked cool buckles, and I didn't know they would send me stuff, but they didn't have prices on their site either. So I just said, "What's the deal with these like 12 different things that you got? Like, what's the cost?" And not only did they tell me how much they cost, what the minimum orders were, and all that kind of stuff, but then some of them sent me like 6 of each thing. Like 6 of this buckle, 6 of that buckle, 6 of this ladder lock. Pretty freaking cool. To test them all out, I already got a scale that weighs grams and ounces, but I got another tinier scale that weighs to 1/100th of a gram. So I've gotten super nerdy and just like choosing the lightest stuff that is still going to get the job done. So it's been pretty cool. I've been able to shave a lot of ounces and, well, a lot of grams and maybe even an ounce or so off the whole thing, and reduce the cost a bit too. So that's why I'm making a few more extra. The last time I pretty much walked away negative. After the whole Kickstarter, I left with like I left with a backpack, that was it. Gotta take beer sips in between. Yeah, so that's the little nerdy bit there. It's been cool because I got all this extra stuff kicking around too. So I have been prototyping, not just with the backpack. I do with the backpack at least every day. Like, I spend part of the day researching, part of the day actually putting something together. Just the fabric's getting here, and then I usually spend some time towards the end of the night, usually just messing around, trying different things, stitching new stuff on there. It's been pretty cool. But I've also been working on a few other projects. Let me just wrap it up with the BivyPack, kind of. So, yeah, I had to wait for the money to come in, and then I ordered all the materials bit by bit from all the places, and that's been trickling in, and there's still some components left to arrive. Not much, but the bulk of it came today, which was the fabric, and the place where I get the fabric also got a laser cutter in the last year or so. So they cut just about everything, which is freaking awesome. I sent them just vector files of all the patterns, and a big freaking laser with sharks freaking cut everything. It was so cool when it came in, and just like, there it is, almost everything just cut, ready to go, because I spent so much time the last time just like doing yoga, freaking bending over backwards, cutting stuff, trying not to screw stuff up, like tracing and cutting and tracing and cutting, and it was a big part of it. So that's done, except for I didn't digitize the shoulder strap patterns, so that is the only thing that I have to do quite slowly by hand still. which especially after having everything else cut is like, oh man, still got to cut stuff. And then a little part of the back panel I still got to cut, but that's super easy. I did that really quick. Did half of them really quick, and I can just knock out the other half real easy. Shoulder straps, those are going to take a little bit longer. It's kind of a pain, but whatever. Get everything else cut like that was so cool, and it came out like perfect, all of it. So everything from tiny little reinforcement squares to the whole roof of the bivy to the body of it, everything just sitting right over there. I spent a little chunk of the day just sorting it all and then putting it all around the garage. That's where I'm at, in the garage. Got a few sewing machines now. Yeah, so that happened, and then locked in someone in town. She's gonna come help me, so I won't be alone on it. Unfortunately, not till next week. I was hoping she'd get in here on like Monday or even tomorrow. But yeah, so she'll be in here in 1 week's time. So I'll get as much done as I can before she gets here, and then cruise mode. Just freaking knock things out as quick as possible. Try to time it out so seam sealing some, and yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be as efficient as possible, and yeah, cruising on out. So that's that. But yeah, with all this BivyPack stuff going on and dreams of travel, basically just constantly thinking about getting back on the road, and really also thinking like, how can I best take advantage of this time and this situation? So obviously, like, make some new gear. Like like always with gear, like, what else can I get rid of? What can I replace? What can I multi-use? So been doing that little stuff. I made myself a belt. It's nothing special at all. I might make it so it is a little bit better. Put a little hidden pocket in there or something. Got an idea with a toothbrush that I haven't quite fleshed out. But one thing that I have prototyped to an extent, and also got all the materials for just about, is a quilt, a sleeping quilt that turns into a vest. I'm really excited about that. So what it is, if you don't know what a quilt is, it's, you've probably heard the word quilt, and you definitely heard the word sleeping bag, and people just use quilt as like a kind of a lighter weight sleeping bag. Like, so you have your mummy sleeping bags where you're fully wrapped in, and a quilt is more like a blanket that you can then just wrap around you, but it's the same concept, and they can either be down or they can use synthetic insulation, and they tend to be lighter because you can just wrap it around you, and you can avoid the zipper. And the idea is that you have a sleeping pad that you're using, and usually if you're in a sleeping bag and you're laying on it, all that you're laying on, you're squishing that insulation, and it's doing zero for you. So the idea with a quilt is that you don't have that insulation underneath you that you're not even using, which is just dead weight. That's basically what it is, but whatever. It's a freaking blanket. So I'm using synthetic insulation because it's my first time giving this a go, and it's a little bit cheaper, a little bit easier, and also if it does get a little wet, synthetic insulation will still stay warm. I mean, if it gets freaking soaked, like you dunk it in the river, you're still out of luck. But, just normal wet stuff, condensation, it'll stay warmer than down. The only penalty is that down will typically compress more than synthetic insulation and way less for warmth. But the synthetic insulation I got is pretty dang good, so it should be pretty close. And currently my down sleeping bag weighs... how much does it weigh? 2 pounds. It's at least 2 pounds, maybe a hair more. And from what I can tell, this thing I'm about to make is going to weigh probably about a pound. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a couple ounces over once I get everything on it. So that's going to be huge to cut that weight in half. But yeah, like I say, the main thing that makes it different is that it's going to be a vest as well, which has been done before. Second. This beer is doing the trick. Yeah, so it's gonna be really simple. I've thought about this a lot. I mean, I've had this idea as long as I've had the BivyPack idea, and actually at times when I understood fabrics and other things way less, one of my ideas was to have a sleeping bag that was also a backpack, and obviously that wouldn't work as well. Just because sleeping bags can be super way light materials and you don't want it constantly under stress like that. But yeah, so I've had this idea forever, and a lot of people have had this idea forever. If you Google it, you'll find all kinds of stuff. All kinds of ways that people have tried this double use kind of situation. Yeah, usually it looks pretty ridiculous. So it's kind of like a pretty functional thing. Like one of the more popular ones is Jacks Are Better, I think is what it's called. And basically, it's like a blanket with a head hole in the very middle, and you stick your head through there, and you just have like this big parka down thing. Which, whatever. If you're just hiking and you're through hiking or something, and you stop and you put that on, it'll do the trick. But I want something that I can wear to the bar or something in the city and not have anyone comment on it, not like just blend in. It's kind of what I'm going for as best as I can. So I'm going the vest route just so I don't have to do anything. I mean like add any additional fabric sleeves basically. So essentially make it so it's just the same weight and shape and size as a regular sleeping quilt, but yeah, just has this extra feature. So all it is really is armholes that'll be, I think, velcroed shut. That's what I have the design right now, and then just strategic buttoning, and that's about it. And it's all about the placement of these buttons really, and a couple loops here and there that's going to make the difference in how it looks. So I'm pretty excited about it. So far I made one just out of straight regular fabric, so there's a chance it's going to be sort of a hunchback situation, but I won't really know until I fully put it together with the real installation. But the plus side is, unless I really screw up the armholes somehow, it's going to be a really lightweight sleeping quilt that works pretty well, and maybe be a ridiculous looking vest. But that's still an upgrade from my heavier sleeping bag right now that is not a vest. So I'm pretty excited about it, and if it works even just a little bit, then just like the BivyPack, I'll be able to change the design over the months and years and make it better and better. So I'm actually pretty excited about it. It should be cool. So besides that, I am sort of in conjunction with both the BivyPack and that quilt making a sleeping pad. Right now I'm calling it the Spartan pad, and the design has changed quite a bit. I've gotten 3 different types of foam already, just to play around with. One that I think is going to be really good, and a couple other ones that were just cheap, so easy to cut out. So the idea with that is to be extraordinarily minimalistic and super light. Yeah, the one I have right now is like, what? I weighed it earlier. It's less than 3 ounces though. Really, really light. So it basically, and it's out of the foam at the moment. I've thought about making a inflatable one. Don't think I'm gonna dive into that. I might. But I doubt it for now. So I'd probably stick to foam. But the idea is that it just is under your shoulders down to your ass, and that's it. So you have these like 3/4 length pads that are 3/4 length of a full length sleeping bag. So this is much less than that. And the idea behind it is, first, cut off the head, because I use a pillow. So why do I need something under the pillow? And it's another thing I'm kind of working on, which is less than I'm building something. It's just more of a technique of wrapping something around my clothes bag and cinching it up so I can raise the height of my pillow. But anyways, yeah, cut off the head of the sleeping pad because it's just unnecessary. And yeah, obviously cut off everything below the ass pretty much. And then I've done a lot of laying on it, both on my back and mostly on my side, because that's how I sleep, is on my side. I keep laying on it every which way I can, and then marking different spots that my body just never comes in contact with the ground, and chopping those off symmetrically. And then playing with the folding. So I've been doing that. The shape has changed quite a bit, from this really weird looking capital I cursor kind of shape, which kind of looked cool, down to a more simplified, kind of hourglassy sort of shape that I'm at now. And yeah, then just playing with the folding. So I've played with the folding as being sort of a back panel for the BivyPack. A bottom to the BivyPack is what I'm kind of rolling with now. I was toying with the idea of making it a laptop case, and I still really like that idea. I just haven't nailed it down yet. If any of you guys have been listening to this show and listened to the episode where my laptop got stolen by a truck driver in India, I think the episode is just called something like "Trucker Steals My Stuff." Early on. Yeah, basically what he did was he just, when I wasn't in the truck with him, we had made a stop. You can hear the whole story, but later, he was there alone. So later I got out of the truck and realized he stole my thing. So when he was there by himself, he like rummaged through my bag, found my little Ziploc with a laptop in it, and, stashed it. And then we kept driving. I didn't notice until I got out of the truck. So my idea then was like, wouldn't it be cool to put my laptop in my bag in a way that made it feel as if it was part of the frame, or like stash it in a hardened frame back panel of a backpack. That was my idea then, and I still kind of like that idea. So I was sort of touring with that. I couldn't get it to work in a way that I really like. I'll keep trying it. I think I kind of like it on the bottom too. So that's what I'm working on. If anyone's seen something like that, you can feel free to hit me up. But it's kind of, just doing a lot of brainstorming over here and drinking this beer. So yeah, these little side projects are usually what I do when I get freaking burned out, when I can't really focus on just being super productive with everything else, because just go all day with this stuff. So usually around night, I'll screw around with one of those ideas. So a couple other little things I'm toying with, just wallets and other less mind-blowing or way different things. But yeah, I got a lot of freaking fabric left over. I got a lot of components and everything else, and I'm not falling into the trap of making stuff I don't need. So that's good. It's still just making stuff that will replace stuff. Yeah, it's all working out pretty good. But I am definitely looking towards the future here. So it's really hard to predict exactly how long it's going to take to make all this stuff until we really get going. Because even when I was in Georgia, I was doing it, and I would just, I would keep on making a timeline, and it would keep on just changing on me. It's hard to predict with sewing and everything, just exactly how long each little task is going to take. And yeah, it's deceptive, really, because it seems like just a backpack, but each backpack has right around 120 something or 130 something components to it. Every backpack. So if you consider the bottom pattern, the left strap, not just the strap, the strap itself has like the lower webbing, the ladder piece, the shoulder strap of mesh I gotta cut out, the front facing fabric I gotta cut out, more ribbon on there, more webbing on there, another ladder lock, the chest strap, which composes of a little piece of shock cord and another piece of fabric to keep that in, and then the component itself, and then the webbing for that. I mean, the list goes on. That's just the freaking shoulder strap, this whole thing. So when you add everything up, carbon fiber, and it's over 100 pieces for every little backpack. And then every little thing it takes a while. Yeah, it adds up. If I add one stitch to something, if I'm like, oh, I should maybe fold this over and stitch it like this, I then have to do that 100 times. So, or more. A couple hundred times. Yeah, just depends on the change. So, I'm trying not to let it bog me down. I mean, it is a little crazy because I'm already freaking losing my mind, and I haven't even... I mean, it's not even full production mode. Yeah, I mean, now all the fabric is here today. So, this is where the ultra craziness, and really in the last couple days, because stuff has been getting here, so I've been going to town on it. Yeah, so I'm hoping I don't totally crack, because when I was in Georgia last time, mostly when I was there, it was after the stuff arrived. So, and now it's just arriving. I've already been here. So, we'll see. But like I said, I got some help coming in. Should be good. And I'm looking towards the future already. I'm pretty stoked because by the time I leave here, I'm going to be geared up. I'm going to have pretty sweet BivyPack. I'm already looking forward to the next version already. I mean, I haven't even made all of these, and I already have like a slightly different version in mind that I'm going to make for myself, and hopefully it doesn't fail. I don't think it will, but yeah, gonna test out a new version. So I'll have that sleeping quilt, I'll have the pad. I'll just have a generally lighter backpack and a humongous sense of freedom, in contrast of just being here for so long. I might go to Texas for a little bit. I'm just dreaming. You gotta dream. Gotta have... Yeah, I don't like making plans. I've said this so many times. I don't like making plans. I like spinning ideas. But it's way better than having no idea, really. But yeah, so I got ideas of going to Texas, maybe heading up to Minnesota, seeing a friend there, seeing some friends in between. I always get drawn out west. Also, talk has just begun about a hitch gathering in North America. So... I don't know. That could be anywhere, really. So whatever, talks just started about that. Depending on where and when that is, that could be an option. So I'm excited. Should be pretty freaking cool. Blasting off out of here, on to the next thing. So yeah, that's all I got to catch up on right now. It's a lot. But yeah, if you're a gear nerd, I'm sure you hung with me there. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch more BivyPacks already. They're for sale, like I said. So if you do want one, I don't know how long they're going to last. As in, like, I don't know how quickly people are going to get them. People have already been getting them post Kickstarter, even though they know they're not shipping until June. But yeah, you can go there to freestyletravelgear.com and you'll find it. You will find the BivyPack, and you can get one. Yeah, and then I'll ship it to you. So that is still the goal. Like I said, it's hard to predict exactly how long every little thing is going to take, but assuming everything goes well, it's still set to ship out in June, and I'm hoping the earlier the better. So we'll see. All right, well, happy days, everybody, and yeah, I'll catch you up somewhere in the midst of production, I'm sure, or towards the tail end of it. Hit you with another episode. Alright, I'll see you down the road. With all my shit straight, I'll get my big break. Oh, but honestly, is that what you